I was listening to a message just recently this week by a respected minister in the US, and I do enjoy his sermons. He's very prophetic. He's seen revival, and he speaks a lot on the end times. And he was saying that we are in a valley, and God said to him that the whole world went into a valley in January 2020. And when he said this, it reminded me of a vision that the Lord gave me for the world, for the nations. And this was in the last few years as well. And it was concerning COVID. And I saw the whole world going into like a valley, like a basin. And it had one end here and one end there. And it represented this decade, 2020, the start of 2020 and 2030. And I just saw the world going into this giant basin or this giant valley. And I realized that this was so serious because there's no way out of this valley or this basin without God. Absolutely no way out. You know, people can build underground bunkers. You know, if you've got the money, great, because they know that stuff's coming. The world knows that the end of the world is near. And they're preparing for that, storing up food, ammunition, you know, whatever it is. But listen, that's not going to save you in the day of God's wrath. The only way out of this basin and this valley is through Jesus Christ. And I've made a video on this. And if you want to know how to be truly saved or how your family can be saved, I'll put a link to it. You need to check it out because Jesus is the way, the truth, the life, and he's the only way out of what we're in right now. I'm hoping and believing and praying that we see a revival. We're coming up to the halfway point of this decade. I really want to see revival. I really want to see a move of God's Spirit at this halfway point where we can turn the tide of evil, of darkness, of wickedness, of corruption, and we can come out into God's glory and light. Maybe we're going to go into revival and it's going to lead to the rapture of the church, that we're going to be caught up into glory from that revival. That would be amazing. That would be glorious. That is my hope and prayer. And, you know, the only way is up. And the rapture is a catching up of the saints. It's really interesting because Lot was Abraham's nephew. And there was a point where they had contention because they were traveling together, living together, but there was some contention. And Abraham said to Lot, go and live somewhere. And Lot looked out and he saw the valley of Sodom and Gomorrah, and he went there because it was amazing. It looked fertile, it looked lush, it looked like a great place to live. He lived in the valley, whereas Abraham obviously lived higher up, because when God came down to see the wickedness of Sodom and Gomorrah, he was with Abraham, he was talking, and they were looking down on the valley. Lot was in a valley, and God came to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities in that plain, in that valley with fire. But Lot was rescued. He was rescued out of the valley. He actually ended up on a mountain with his daughters later on. He actually got up to a place of safety later on. But the point is, it was a valley in the last times that was destroyed by fire. That is such a picture, my friend, of what's going to happen in the last days. That God is going to destroy the world with fire like it's in a valley. And the only way out of the valley is through Jesus Christ. It's through repentance. It's through looking to him. It's through living your life for him, giving your all to him. And that is what we need to do in these days. And I know that most of you who watch these videos on this channel, you've already done that. And you are living for him. Even when it's hard and difficult, you're looking up to the King of Kings and you're trusting him and you're putting your faith in him despite what's going on. And then there's another occasion of a valley in the Bible in the last days, and it's in Revelation. And it says in Revelation 16 that the nations will gather against Israel and fight against her. This is right at the end of time, just before Jesus comes back. And they're going to have a great battle in Armageddon. That is in the valley of Jezreel. It's a place called Megiddo. And it's going to be in this valley right at the mount of Megiddo. And again, it's a valley. God is going to destroy these nations in the valley. And guess where Jesus is coming back to? He's not coming back to a valley. He's coming back to a mountain. We know this because Zechariah 14 says this: in that day, his feet, that's Jesus' feet, shall stand on the Mount of Olives, and the Mount of Olives will be split in half from the east to the west by a very large valley. And it says that people will flee through that valley to be safe. This is amazing, isn't it? Jesus is coming back to a mountain. Isaiah 25, it says Jesus will again be on the mountain, and he will remove the veil of darkness that's over the nations. I had a vision again in 2020 of a shroud and a veil of darkness coming over the whole world. But I was on a mountaintop with Jesus, and I saw him rip it up and pull it up and throw it away. And there was light again in the nations. Listen, I want to encourage you today. You might feel in a valley, but Jesus can lift you up to the mountaintop. You can dwell with him. You can sup with him. You can fellowship with him. You can climb that mountain and have an aerial view. You can look down on the valley and not look up at the mountain and think, I wish I was there. And it's all through prayer. It's all through fellowship with him, sitting with him, looking to him, trusting him, praising him, because he's the King of Kings and he's coming back again. I hope this message and video has encouraged you today. Thank you for being a part of this channel. Look out for more videos, and we will speak to you soon. Take care.